Um, yes, so speech today is about the mind-body connection. And what I'm thinking about is there a connection with the way we treat our bodies and the way we treat our minds? Are there things that we are doing to our bodies on a daily basis that we should be doing for our minds on a daily basis? And the reason this idea came up to me is after hearing a quote by Zig Ziglar for the 50th time. I think you all know it. Suddenly this idea came to my mind, and this quote is, people often say that motivation doesn't last long. Well, neither does bathing, and that's why I recommend we do it every day. So that quote everyone knows. But what got me thinking was this parallel between motivation, which is a mental exercise, and bathing, which is a physical exercise. And so I did research, and I got lots of material. But today I'm going to just talk about one thing that we need to do to keep ourselves emotionally free from hurt. And this is what I term as emotional first aid. In life, we will go through periods of time when we get hurt emotionally. How do we know we are hurt? We feel rejection, we feel sense of failure, loss of self-esteem, and typically these things, when they happen to us, we cure ourselves in a short period of time. But if we find ourselves thinking about it, like if we are rejected by a boyfriend or something, we keep thinking about it, that's when we need to step in and do what is called emotional first aid, mental first aid. Sort of like putting a bandage on a cut when you get one. And the emotional first aid we need to do is changing our perception of the event that caused the hurt. And the changing of the perception is to change from a pessimistic point of view to an optimistic point of view. And the pessimist, when he looks at this hurtful event, explains it as a permanent event. So I'll give you an example. Actually, how I'm going to do this is going to tell you 3 ways in which a pessimist and an optimist view a hurtful event. A pessimist will view the event as a permanent event. So say I wear the wrong set of clothes to a Toastmasters meeting or an office meeting. If I'm an optimist, I'll say, oh, I wore casual clothes, I should have worn formal. That's okay, everyone understands, I'll be fine. They'll forget about it. The pessimist, the guy who will get hurt, he's the guy who will say, oh my God, I wore the wrong set of clothes. They're going to remember this, it's going to come up in my evaluation and I won't get my promotion. So you see how he views it. The second thing is that the pessimist and the optimist is the way they explain a fault, the hurt that comes towards them. The pessimist will take all the blame onto themselves. So if your girlfriend rejects you, you will say, it's all my fault. I was a jackass. I did everything wrong, and so that's why it happened. The optimist, on the other hand, will put all the blame on the girlfriend and say it's her problem. She's a jackass. Now, I'm not for 1 second suggesting that all of us start blaming everybody else except ourselves. No. But inherently, in that explanation, when you externalize the fault, it's an act of self-love. And typically people who emotionally hurt don't love themselves very much. So take a balanced view in this, and we don't put all the blame, but definitely assign some of the causes to external and be realistic. Some of them, yeah, you take responsibility and you work towards it. And the third thing is that the difference between explanatory styles is the pessimist and the optimist have a sense is with respect to pervasiveness. So what I mean to say about that is, when something bad happens to a pessimist, for example, again we go to the girlfriend rejecting the guy, the optimist will say, my girlfriend is a big cheat. The pessimist will say, all women are cheats. So that's the way they explain things. Now, does this really make a difference in your life? Yes, it does. Because for me, 10 years ago, I didn't know this stuff. And I went through a divorce. It was, on the surface, it was very, very easy. One sitting in the judge's office and it was done. At the same time, I lost my job. So there I was, 2 kids and a single mom. And I didn't know this stuff. Inside I was hurting. But you know the way I talk. So everyone was saying, oh, you're such a strong woman. And I didn't tell anyone because I thought that was not the thing. That's not what strong women did. But because of that, because I didn't share it with anyone, I started to become a pessimist. So if anything went wrong, I blamed it on the divorce. My daughter started crying because something happened in school. I said, oh my God, because of the divorce, she's emotionally weak. My son brought a bad report card. See, he's not studying because he doesn't have a father figure. So basically, if I had known this information, I would have localized it. I said, no, he's not studying. That's why he's got a bad report card. You've got to get him to study. But I kept blaming myself. And this caused me to become finally depressed. So it took many years, and I didn't have this information. And I don't want any one of you to go through what I did. So I have 7 minutes, there's lots more, but this is what I want you to do. Whenever you get hurt emotionally, choose a style to explain that event that serves you. Blame someone else. Don't make it all-encompassing. Don't say it's everything. Just limit it to that event. And I hope by doing that, you'll apply the bandage and the hurt will heal and you'll get over it quicker. Thanks.